It's gonna be tricky because I don't know if she's gonna tolerate me doing it. I'll try to read her and try to do it for you. But so let's start with putting her in the crate, and you need to take the leash off.
Take it off when she does it, or take it off now and see if she does it?
Take it off and put her in there. Good girl. Yay. Okay,
Good
super.
job.
All right. Actually, I took off my big bag of notes. I can edit this out of the video. Wait for me to walk. Now, this will be somewhat harder when you're just coming home and she's very excited. But, and you can use food, and don't feel bad about using food if you need to. Oh, she's gonna want me to do it, good girl. So, in a nutshell, you need to get a slip lead on her, bring her out on a slip lead, and then you have the ability to self-protect and use the slip lead to put her into a sit, feed her, self-protect against the leaping. Also, applying pressure in this manner, oh, I've gone off camera. Applying a bit of pressure in that manner has a calming effect usually. So, I'm gonna have you do it. And of course, when you take her out at home, it's gonna be much more exciting.
It's gonna be, yeah,
But, you can practice
when she's
100 times releasing her out of the crate when she's calmer, with the intention of habituating a calmer exit from the crate. And then you don't let her off the slip lead until she's truly psychologically calmed down.
right, which usually takes a minute. Like after she's jumped up on me, she then goes and jumps on her sister, or just does a little lap around the kitchen table.
Yes, so she's gonna come out like this, and you can put a little bit of pressure to put her into a sit. If food is not stimulating to her, you can feed her for being good and being good and being calm. Some dogs, like my Labradors, I can't feed them when I let them out because it just makes them worse.
Right.
Because labs are like, you know, food freaks. You probably better pull that off and hurt yourself. I don't know if she's gonna let me reach on her like that. So basically, it's a little bit of dog rodeo wrangling. You need a slip lead. These are super cheap. But you make a big loop. If you need to bring her into the loop with food, you can. And then you tighten it up as you bring her out. Then, if necessary, like if she tries to launch at you, you take her out so that she can't make contact with you. Remember, okay, so let me see if I can demonstrate that with the video. So if she's trying to launch at you, you're gonna need to go straight out, like so, to get her off of you, and she may be airborne at that point. So, one thing that's important to note, pull that off of her one more time, let me show it in the video. Slip leads are the best thing to get a dog out of a crate because it's just easy peasy, and assuming she's in the crate naked, which she should be, it's easy to get this on her. These do not have a stop, so they continue to tighten forever until they cut off the dog's air. So, you can put pressure on the dog, but you must release it promptly, or she will have lost her air. So, if she's flying around and you have to hold her off of you and get her down onto the ground, then you need to immediately move your hand towards her to release the pressure off that lead, so she's getting air. So that's critical. Otherwise, I usually find that a little bit of upwards pressure, now she's mad at me. We had this happen, I think, with the frog. Good. Good girl. She gets a little pissy about,
After a while, she's
well, there's a streak in her to be like, don't make me, I think. But a little bit of upwards pressure, like so. No, I'm not picking a fight with you. Yes, you're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding. So there's another moment of a certain type of person will take that as a front. They're like, oh, now we have to fight it out. I'm not sure. She definitely has this streak where she's like, I will not be physically made. And then she gets kind of mad about it. And the way we're going to approach that is just like we talked about in the office, we're not gonna get emotionally involved with her. I'm not gonna be made to change what I'm doing. I'm just gonna respond to her with, I'm not fighting with you. I'm not trying to pick a fight with you. There's no need for a fight. Can you sit? Yes. Good job.
Are you just applying the pressure?
Yep.
Or do you say sit as well?
I said sit that time to help her conceptualize it, because I felt like maybe she didn't totally understand what the pressure meant, and maybe that was part of why she was getting a little angry with me.
Which is weird, because the first couple of times she did it just...
Right, but then she's like, I did it, I think she might be one of these dogs, it's like, I did it already, now why are you keeping on, you know?
Right.
I'm not really sure, we gotta figure her out as we go. But regardless, the approach is always gonna be, just like I just did here, if she gets a little angry and fighty, you know, I'm not fighting with you, I'm not trying to pick a fight with you. I want that very clear. We're not picking fights, but we're also not gonna be intimidated into stopping what we're doing because you're gonna have a little temper tantrum.
Right.
So, put her back in there, I wanna see you get her into the loop.
No. Okay.
So that's something to watch out for you when you're doing this technique to try and get her out and she's all riled up. If she gets fish on a hook kind of fighty,
Right.
you try to take yourself down and be like, just sit, take a treat. We're not fighting, we don't need to fight. Because the last thing I want is for her to come out and get all confrontational.
Right. And I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's just the excitement of having a human come home, but it is the same. She is so excited. She was literally jumping constantly, doesn't listen.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming for this to work in real life, the crate needs to be in the living room, as opposed to in like a different room in the
No,
bathroom.
not necessarily. Just have this little buddy.
And you can actually put the crate open in 5 minutes.
Oh, because you're walking in and she's loose?
Yes. Normally when I walk in, she's by the door.
Then if someone else is home, the person who's home should get her on a lead ahead of time.
Okay.
But I thought this was mostly coming out of a crate that this was happening.
No, it's mostly just whenever I get home, when I'm coming back from work, or from the store, just any time I open the door, and I haven't seen her for 2 to 10 hours.
So is she loose at home ever? Alone, or is she just loose?
My wife actually works from home, so she's...
Okay, so she's with him. Okay, so then just have Ashley put her on her.
Okay.
So you go ahead. So she's getting a little wound up, so that's actually good, because this will be a little more realistic. But go ahead and just... Yep, and bring her out.
Yes.
Perfect. And then the other thing that's critical is that you don't interact with her until she's calm.
Right.
So you make as much eye contact as you have to kind of see what she's doing, but don't engage with her like, hi, I'm happy to see you, whatever. So the one thing that Cesar Milan had right, no touch, no talk, no eye contact. If she's bouncing off the walls, you don't acknowledge her until she's come way, way down. And that will also reduce the excitement of your coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's better to have this, she wouldn't have collar on, normally up around kind of behind her ears.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a good place for it. And I think the other thing that's great about slip leads is if you have her just hanging out in the house and you have a slip lead by the door, you can easily have Ashley just tap it on her like quick and you're ready to go. Plus, like I said, they cost like $1.50 a piece. I have them stashed everywhere.